Sarah and I have been married for 2 years. Our relationship began as a classic office romance. Sarah, then 30, had a strong desire to start a family, leading her to become a full-time homemaker right after our wedding. She has a knack for household chores and appears to find joy in them, so she suggested I focus solely on work. I accepted this arrangement gratefully. Both of us were eager to have children and felt the time was approaching. But even after 2 years of marriage, there was no sign of pregnancy. Still, we thought it could be quite pleasant to enjoy our life as a couple for a while longer. One particular evening, I received a sudden invitation from my colleagues to a year-end gathering. Of course, I informed Sarah and apologized for the abruptness. However, she was supportive and said,
Enjoy yourself. I'll be waiting at home. If you want anything for a late-night snack, just drop me a text.
Touched by her kindness, I finished the gathering and hurried home. On my way home, I was stunned to see Sarah on the opposite side of the road. She was holding hands and laughing with a man I didn't recognize. No! What is happening? I was utterly baffled and took shelter in the shadow of a bus stop. As I stood still for a while, attempting to collect my thoughts, I began to recall that Sarah had been acting somewhat peculiar recently. Since we used to work together, she was familiar with my work schedule and busy periods. She had never questioned my timings before, but recently, she had been increasingly curious about when I would return home. Her time on her smartphone also seemed to have increased. She would dismiss my conversations with curt replies, and when I asked about what she was doing, she would quickly tuck her phone away, saying she was playing a game. These incidents, coupled with the sight of the unfamiliar man, made me suspect she could be having an affair. In hindsight, I should have addressed the situation immediately. However, I found myself questioning if I could be mistaken, and I ended up spending the following days in a state of unease. One day, uncharacteristically, she left her smartphone in the living room when she went to bathe. I knew it wasn't right, but I felt this was my only opportunity to confirm my suspicions. What I found out shattered any remaining hope. Numerous lovey-dovey exchanges were left undeleted. There were numerous selfies of the two, along with some explicit pictures that were obviously taken post-intimacy. Further investigation led me to a shared calendar app, where there was a plan for a Disneyland trip to celebrate their 1-year anniversary the following week. The evidence was all there. This revelation that their relationship had been going on for a year hit me hard. The happy marital life I had believed in turned out to be a farce, leaving me nauseated. I quickly took pictures of the evidence with my phone and replaced hers. But I spent the night sleepless, my mind flooded with thoughts. 2 days later, Sarah, assuming I was oblivious, casually asked,
Can I go on a trip with my college friend Eliza the week after next?
That was the exact date of the affair trip noted in the calendar. It finally sunk in that I had indeed been betrayed. All I could do was pretend to be unaware and respond, "Sure, have a good time." My inner turmoil was a mixture of anger at her betrayal and disappointment in myself for being deceived. However, I managed to muster the resolve to hire a detective, thoroughly investigate the matter, and eventually confront her with a divorce. Then the day came, the day of her trip. She was bouncing off the walls with excitement, leaving at the break of dawn. I'd clearly taken the day off, so I watched her departure with a grin and spent the day chillaxing with some games. A couple of hours later, when I figured she must have reached her destination, I got an email from her.
Landed safely. I can't control my excitement. I haven't seen Eliza in forever. And don't you dare cheat on me while I'm gone.
Reading this, I thought, the nerve. There's something truly stomach-turning about being told not to cheat by a cheater. Still, I played along, replying, "Don't worry about home. Just enjoy the reunion. Looking forward to a cool souvenir. I wouldn't dream of cheating. Promise." That wrapped up our exchange for the day. But the next day, another email from her landed in my box.
Good morning. Hope you're eating well. Looks like there's an issue with my credit card. It's not working. Can you believe it? Mind wiring me some money?
I answered back, short and sweet. "I've frozen your card. Not wiring you anything. Ask whoever you're with to pick up the tab." That's when she rang me up.
What the hell are you talking about? I can't do that. I don't know when I'll see Eliza again, and I can't ask her for money.
She raged at my indifference.
Why the heck did you freeze my card? Has it been used fraudulently?
I could have burst out laughing at the irony of her asking if there was any unauthorized usage, but I calmly responded, "No, that's not it." She blew her top even more, yelling,
What? Then why? You're acting bizarre. Have you lost your marbles?
"Lost my marbles," she says. I had to chuckle. "No, the one acting bizarre is you. Are you even aware of what you're doing?" Seeing she still didn't get it, I decided to drop a hint. "Who are you really with?" At my question, she was clearly taken aback, then started to fluster.
I told you. It's Eliza, my college buddy. I don't know when I'll see her next, and she's got a family, so I can't ask her for money like this. Just wire the money quickly.
I could have laughed at her desperation, but I kept my voice steady. "Don't lie. You're not with Eliza. I've already checked. Remember, we had dinner with Alyssa before our wedding? We exchanged numbers then. I dropped her a line today to say hi, and you know what she said."
Huh? What are you talking about?
Yeah, she was clueless. Sarah went silent. I had told Alyssa to keep it hush-hush, so she probably had no idea. I asked her again. "So, who are you really with?" After a moment of silence, she seemed to figure something out and said,
I came here alone. Yep, all by myself. Thought you'd worry if I was traveling solo, so I said I was with Alyssa. I'm sorry for the lie, but I am genuinely alone.
I let her finish her spiel, then said, "All right, so you're alone. Fine. I still won't wire you any cash, so figure it out yourself," and hung up while she was still prattling on. I then picked up my pre-packed bags and left the house. Later that evening, I met with the detective I'd hired and got my hands on the evidence. On my way back to the car, my phone rang. It was Sarah again.
Hey, where are you? I came home, and your stuff is all gone, and there's a divorce paper on the table.
She started shrieking. I pulled my phone away from my ear, let her vent, then calmly said, "Oh, I moved into a new place. Just sign those papers and mail them to my folks. We're done." She couldn't process it and started screaming again.
Huh? What are you saying? I can't make heads or tails of this. What do you mean? Unilateral divorce? New place? What? I'll sue you.
I couldn't help but sigh as I listened to her words. Funny, isn't it? You thought your secret was safe. I'd left an envelope in our mailbox containing a photo that featured you with another man. Did you see it? When she heard my words, she seemed to panic. She rushed to the mailbox and back to the phone, blurting out,
He was a client. He helped me a lot in my work, so we had a meal together. Why are you taking pictures? Are you spying on me?
It was clear her excuses were nothing more than lies. Disappointed, I told her, "You're a pretty good liar, aren't you? Makes me wonder if everything you've ever said to me was false." Despite her frantic denials, I continued, "I saw you both together, by chance. Afterwards, I got a peek at your phone. You've been together for a year, haven't you? I even hired a detective after that, collected all the evidence. And yes, I've informed your parents about all of this. They were quite upset, actually. They apologized to me that their daughter had done something like this. You should apologize to them later." Her objections got louder and louder, especially at the mention of her parents. But her loudest proclamation was her intention to divorce me.
You are the terrible one. Talking to my parents before me. I understand now. I don't need you anymore. I'll divorce you. I'll find happiness with him.
I let her rant, and when she was done, I simply said, "All right then. I hope you find the happiness you're seeking." Fast forward to a week later, living peacefully in my new place, I received a message from her. She was furious that I'd contacted her lover's house.
You had to meddle, didn't you? His wife found out. She took the kids and left for her parents' house.
I simply responded, Well, isn't that for the best? You were planning to be happy with him, right? Now, if he gets divorced, you two can marry. But she seemed deflated, whispering,
I thought we could. But he doesn't want a divorce. He says he's not seeing me anymore. What am I supposed to do now?
Finding it odd that she'd come to me for advice, I told her. Looks like he chose his wife and kids over you. Not surprising, considering his wife's family's wealth. Then, she attempted a cutesy voice.
I may have said harsh things, but I want to be with you. Can we start over?
Her selfishness stunned me. I've no plans to go back. Can you sign the divorce papers and send them to my parents' house? Also, didn't my lawyer call you recently? You were instructed to direct any queries to them, right? Unable to respond, she froze, so I hung up. I ignored her calls thereafter. She tried to reach me at my workplace a few times, but I was away for training at the head office. Word had gotten around in the office, and she was rebuffed by my former colleagues and hasn't shown up since. Eventually, I received the signed divorce papers at my parents' house. She seemed to have accepted the situation and agreed to pay alimony. Even though her affair had drained her savings, she's been making regular payments. From what I heard, there was quite a commotion at her lover's house. In the end, they decided not to divorce. As a result, he had to pay me a hefty alimony, enough to buy me a new car. I heard his wife's family bailed him out, but he's now supposedly stuck for life. With everything settled, my heart finally found peace. Looking back, not having a child might have saved us from more complications. And in a way, knowing her true colors within just 2 years was a good thing. I hope to build a new family someday, but for now, I'm enjoying my single life, taking my time to ensure I don't repeat the same mistakes. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you found my story interesting. I'll see you in the next one. And don't forget to subscribe.